moving into Aquarius. If you didn't know, Pluto is moving its way into Aquarius on November 19th. It will spend the better part of 20 years there, asking us to really look inward for deep transformation and change. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth, and it really invites us to look at the old ways we've been doing things, the old patterns, the behaviors, systems, and really say no more, letting them go, releasing so we can birth something new, something freeing, something revolutionary and liberating. And in the sign of Aquarius, it is, of course, on a personal level, but deeply for the collective. And it might feel anxious. You might feel anxious. You might feel overwhelmed with all of the information that's coming out about it. And so here we are to settle into our bodies to help us release old things and be open and curious about opportunities on the other side of that. My name is Deanna, aka Intuitively D. I'm an intuitive astrologer and tarot reader, certified yoga instructor with an emphasis in restorative practices, sound practitioner, and Reiki healer. And I'm so glad that you're taking some time out for yourself today. So let's get started. Having all of the handy dandy props. If you don't have a yoga bolster, several regular pillows will do. I have some yoga blocks here. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can use books. And I also have just one blanket, but if you wanted several blankets, whatever is going to make you feel supported and comfortable as we dive into our poses. Today, we're going to start a little different. Usually, I have us starting on our backs, but today, I'm going to ask you to start in an easy seat. And as you can see, I'm sitting on a bolster that gives my hips some space. It allows me to be a little more comfortable in this pose, and I invite you to do the same. When you've arrived, the invitation is to lower the gaze or close the eyes. Maybe you have two hands on your heart, two hands on your belly. Maybe the hands are resting on the knees, wherever you like them to be. And the invitation is to become aware of your breath, your inhales and your exhales, the rising and the falling of your belly. Allowing the breath to anchor into this present moment, creating space from the day, the weekend, the week, the month, the year that you've already had. Allowing you to bring the shoulders away from the ears and feel a little more connected to your mat or the earth. And we'll take a few breaths here together as a community. So when you're ready, finish that last exhale in your cycle. And when you're ready, take a deep inhale through the nose, hold it at the top, open your mouth, sigh it out. Two more just like that. Inhaling deeply through the nose, hold it at the top, open the mouth, sigh it out. And maybe you like to set an intention for this astrological transit or for your life or a dedication. This could be the breath to do so. Take the deepest inhale through the nose that you might have done all day. Hold it at the top. See that intention or dedication in your mind's eye as if it is so. Take another sip of air in if you can. And when you're ready, open your mouth and release it all the way out. Return back to the natural rhythm of your breath for a few cycles. And when you're ready, inhaling, circling the arms up and overhead. Maybe the palms touch. Maybe you look up, relaxing the shoulders. Exhaling, bringing the hands to heart center. We're just going to do that two more times. Inhaling, circling the arms up. Exhaling, bringing the hands to heart center. One more time. Inhaling, circling the arms up. Exhaling, bringing hands to heart center. Now we're going to move into a different type of sun salutation, a seated one. Inhaling, circling the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, hinge at your hips, falling forward as if we're in regular standing up mountain pose. Palms plant down. Inhale, come to the fingertips, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, roll all the way back up. Arms come back up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more just like that. Inhale, circling the arms up. Palms touch. Exhale, hinging at your hips, falling forward. Palms touch the floor in front of you. Inhale, come to fingertips, flat back. Exhale, coming back inward. Inhale, we roll all the way back up. Arms reach up to the sky, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, circling the arms up. Exhale, hinging forward. Inhale, fingertips halfway lift. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, come all the way back up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Switch the crossing of the legs. Bringing our hands to our knees. We're just going to do some Sufi grind circles, hip circles. Inhale, bring the chest forward. Go ahead and rotate to the left side of your space. And as you move to the back of your space, curve the spine. Exhaling and rotate it over. Feel free to make these circles as big as you like or as small as you like. Feel free to go over some spots that might need a little more love without any judgment. Feeling into the breath, go ahead and make these a little bit smaller until you come back to center. When you come back to neutral, inhaling, bringing the chest forward, rotating the chest to the right side of the space. Whatever we did on the other side, we're going to do on this side. Curving, maybe you exaggerate a bit. Staying with the breath. Begin to make the circles smaller and smaller until you come back into center with a neutral spine. From here, we're going to make our way into our first pose, which is, of course, one of my favorite, Supta Baddha Konasana. And let me show you how to set it up. Towards the back of your, I'm just going to move my pillows out the way. Towards the back of your mat, we want to place the bolster. I think it's vertical. Who knows? Long way. Towards the back of your mat. Bringing my blocks close just in case I need them to support my hips. I did a makeshift run this morning and I haven't run in years, so we don't know how it's going to go right now, honestly. Sitting, bringing your bottom up against the front of the bolster, bringing the soles of your feet to touch. And when you're ready, gently placing your hands besides your hips, gently lowering your back onto the bolster, and then allowing yourself, as you can see I'm going to do, to adjust so you can be in a very comfortable pose. We're going to be here for several breaths. Usually in my classes, we're in a pose for about 7 to 10 minutes, but here we'll do maybe 3. So I'm placing the blocks under my knees, under my hips, just to give me a little more support. I'm grabbing my blanket because what feels really lovely sometimes is a blanket over the abdomen, especially if you have a weighted blanket. And the hands can be wherever you like them to be. Sometimes it feels really good to place them on your body, and sometimes away from you is quite lovely as well. Invitation to close the eyes and come back to the breath. And maybe with every inhale and exhale in this pose, you inhale endless opportunities for this transition. And you exhale old baggage, old beliefs. No judgment on those things, because most of those things that are old baggage and beliefs helped us to survive. But maybe you realize, and it doesn't even have to be about the astrological transits, maybe you just realize there's time to let some things go. And so, can you allow yourself to breathe through that transition? With every breath, feeling lighter and more at ease. Just checking in. Is there anything that you want to do to make this pose a little more supportive, a little more comfortable, even if that means coming out of it, swishing the knees from side to side, and then going back in it? Because isn't that life? Sometimes on this healing journey, it's a journey called life, we can go hard and then we need a break to go back inward. 10 more breaths here. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing awareness back into your body, back in this present moment. And if you had blocks under your knees, maybe you gently move those to the sides, bringing the hands under the knees to lift them back up, widening the feet as wide as your mat, and gently dropping your knees side to side, slowly and gently, windshield wipers. When you feel complete, knees come back to center, bringing the feet back into hips width distance apart. And then we roll over to one side, whatever side feels great, pressing into the palm and the arm, just to come back up to move into our next posture, which is a seated forward fold. So for this, I'm just going to move things to the side. I might have to move my microphone, bringing my legs out in front, just checking if I can still see myself on the camera, bringing my legs up front. You know, your girl's real, so here we go. Bringing my bolster. This can be a quite uncomfortable position for lots of people, especially if you're a little bit tighter in your lower back, tighter in your hips. So we're going to bring all the props. So first, I have my bolster on top of my lap. And then I know I'm going to need another pillow. Let me move this microphone. Here we go. And when you get that all ready, feet can be hanging out to the sides. No active feet here. Take an inhale to lengthen. And then on your exhale, you're going to fall forward into a posture that is comfortable for you. I could probably use another pillow. Let's see. Ooh, that might be a lot, girl. Oh, I think that might be it. And cheek, maybe your left cheek first and then your right cheek, which is an actual song, but the T-Pain song, we're not going to go into it. And as you arrive, you settle in. You come back to your breath. You relax your glutes. You breathe into your quads, releasing those as well. Allowing the breath to help you fall forward. Okay. And don't worry, I'll let you know when it's time to switch sides of the face. And maybe this transit is going to ask you to go inward, to really dig deep on what is not doing you any good, as the old folks say, and really be honest with yourself on what needs to be released. And that can be challenging, can be scary, be sad. But will you allow yourself to feel those things and continue to persevere, to be open to new things? If you're on one side, your cheek is on one side, flip it to the other side. We've made it to the halfway mark. And maybe now the breath has allowed you to go a little bit deeper so you can remove some props. Just about 5 more breaths here. And I know you probably heard that motorcycle because I did too. The city, man. Begin to deepen your breath. Gently rolling back up to a neutral spine. Moving the props out of the way. Just for now, actually, I'm just going to move these pillows out the way. You're going to use a bolster or two or your pillows. And we're going to set up for a supported spinal twist. So bolster goes to the back of the mat, same long way. And if you're sitting like this, you can swish your legs around. So now for me, this is left side, but this might be your right side, right up against your hips. And we are going to take a breath here. And as we exhale, we turn towards our bolster, framing our bolster with our hands, and we'll gently walk our chest down. This is like one of my favorites. I'm going to teach it to guide it tonight in class. And here you might need maybe a blanket between the knees. Invitation to close the eyes. Allowing yourself to be fully supported in this pose. And as you start releasing the old things, old patterns, old behaviors, you will need a support system. Will that be your yoga practice? Will that be friends, family, a faith-based practice? Reach out, ask for that support. A few more breaths here. And when you're ready, taking a deep inhale to reawaken the body, bringing awareness back into your space, pressing into the palms, gently bringing your upper body up. And then you're just going to switch to the other side. I'll show you how to do it from here, but then I'm just going to move the bolster to the other side. Just turning around, swishing, taking that inhale here, facing our bolster, and coming down. Maybe I will stay here. Who knows? Once again, maybe a block between the knees. Maybe you don't need it on this side. But continue to adjust until you feel completely supported. There is no effort. There's just ease. Coming back to the breath. Excuse me. And we'll be here for about 10 more breaths. I'm going to move over because it's just awkward that I don't see you. I'll use my pillow. Take about 3 more breaths here. And when you're ready, pressing into the palms to come all the way back up, knowing that this next pose is our last pose and you can do anything you like here. The invitation today is placing pillows or a bolster. I'll show you both. I'm going to have a bolster under my head because that feels good. And then I'm going to place pillows under my knees because that also feels good. Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to bring a blanket just over my abdomen because that always feels great to me and comfortable and safe and secure. So I'm going to do that. And when you feel complete, let's take a breath together for our final deepest relaxation. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Feel free to stay here as long as you like, but if you like to end your practice with me, gently planting the feet back onto the mat, back onto the earth, bringing 2 hands to the heart space. Tucking the chin to chest, giving yourself gratitude for showing up for this restorative practice, for making yourself a priority, for declaring that rest is your birthright, because without rest, there is no clarity. Maybe you send gratitude to the others who shared in this practice with us as well, virtually. And I am always grateful that you've allowed me to guide you through your practice. The love, the light, the compassion in me most definitely honors the love, the light, the compassion in you. I wish you nothing but ease and flow.